So we're looking now at solving simultaneous linear equations. Simultaneous means at the same time. And when it comes to solving linear equations at the same time, what it means is what is the x and y value that satisfies both of those equations at the same time. Graphically, it would mean where the two lines intersect. Okay, so as far as solving linear simultaneous equations goes, there's two methods that we generally use. As far as algebraic methods go, there are two methods, and that is the substitution method and the elimination method. And we're going to have a look at both of those. After that, we'll have a look at graphically how it works, and we'll show that using the graphics calculator. So let's have a look at, first of all, the substitution method. Now with the substitution method, what we need to do is rearrange, if need be, the equations so that we have one variable equal to an expression involving the other variable. In this case, we'll rearrange the first equation there so that we've got y equals 2x minus 4. We can then substitute that expression for y into the other equation, x plus 2y equals negative 3. So that means we'll have x plus 2 times 2x minus 4, and that will equal negative 3. Expand the left sides, we've got x plus 4x minus 8 equals negative 3. Collect our like terms and take the 8 over to the other side, so we've got 5x equals 5. Divide by 5, we've got x equals 1. Now we can substitute that value of x equaling 1 into any one of those equations, but we may as well do it into the rearranged one because we're solving for y. So then we end up with y equals 2 times 1 minus 4, which means y is equal to 2 minus 4, which is negative 2, and that's our solution. X equals negative 1 and y equals negative 2, and commonly we'll write that as a set of coordinates, 1, negative 2, as being our solution. What we're going to do now is to look at the elimination method as an alternative, and we'll show that both the methods work to get the same answer. And when we're using the elimination method, the best way to do it is to write out our two equations and label them or number them. Okay, number the first one 1 and the second one 2. And what we need to do is look to see how we can eliminate one of the variables. Now, to eliminate one of the variables, either x or y, we can't just subtract 1 or add 1 as it is now. What we'll need to do is, first of all, multiply either the first equation or the second equation by some number so that the coefficient is the same as in the other equation. So what we'll do in this case is multiply equation 1 by 2. So then that will change our equation 1 into 4x minus 2y equals 8. Every term must be multiplied by that number. And now we can subtract two equations. So what we'll do is we'll label that equation 3, and we're going to go equation 2 plus equation 3. So they're directly above each other. We can add them together, and 4x plus x gives us 5x, and plus 2y plus negative 2y cancel each other out, which is what we want, and negative 3 plus 8 is 5. Divide them by 5, we get x equals 1. And now we can substitute that x value equal to 1 into any one of those equations, say into equation 1. And so then we got 2 times 1 minus y equals 4. And then we've got negative y equals 4 minus 2, which would be 2, which means that y must equal negative 2. And so here we've got the same solution as we had before, okay, which is going to be 1, negative 2. Let's have a look at graphing it. So we go to our screen where we're just going to put in our two equations. Okay, we've got an option here. We can use the graph and table screen, but we don't really have an option to put the equations in as they were. We would have to rearrange them to be in the form y equals mx plus b. So it's probably not the best way to go about doing it. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the main menu and enter in the equations as we've been given them. So 2x minus y equals 4, press enter, and also x plus 2y equals negative 3, and then enter. And then you'll notice here we've got different options. If we choose the graph one, which it is there by default anyway, click on that and it brings up the graph, the grid there, number plane. So we can just highlight the equations and literally just drag them down and it'll graph that line. Do the same with the other, drag it down and it graphs it as well. And if we have a look there, we can see the point there, which is in fact 1, negative 2, that point of intersection that we found before. Let's check it. We can go to Analysis G Solve and then Intersection, and you can see that it is actually highlighting that point 1, negative 2. So a useful way of being able to do it on our graphics calculator, the ClassPad.